Yo, 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 what's poppin', boys? What's poppin'? What's poppin', Andrew? What's poppin', the Space Kid? Shout out to you, boys. Shout out to Andrew for copping the Memby. Andrew got away with that free Memby for the first month. But shit, my man copped it. My man copped it. Hold up. What's good, him? What's poppin', homie? You know, usually I don't really like the low light, but I don't know, something about the day, something about I might just keep it dark. I might just keep the stream dark tonight. You know, a little after hours vibes. Let me do a couple things though. Yo, what up, M Gal? All right, so I might turn the lights on. We'll see. Bro, the low light's tough. I kind of like it, Space Kid. I kind of like it, homie. I agree with you. I think it's tough as well. What up, Tony? Good to see all you guys filing in right now. Um, Gotta keep the voice down. Shit, it's my bad. I had a hectic ass day, boys. You guys want to know what I went through this morning? I know you guys like a little bit of Castro lore in your life, and I feel like sharing, so I'll tell you guys what happened today. Reminds me of my English class in high school, LOL. Hell yeah, a little nostalgia. All right. So late night stream. Today was a wild morning that I had. I essentially once I get over this story, let me tell this story real quick, and then I actually am very excited to get into the news for the day. So I'm gonna just get this story off real quick. So this morning, well, actually, long story short, let me give you guys the whole lore. I ordered a new license plate for one of my cars. Okay, I got two cars because my mom, she moved out of state, but she had a car here while she lived here. So I basically just kept it and it's paid off. So it's like a little Toyota Camry, you feel me? That's my mom's car. And then I got the Mustang. So it's like the best of both worlds. You got the fuel economy and you got the muscle, the American muscle. So anyway, my mom's Camry, it's a bit, I don't know, it's like a 2012 or something. But the license plate, like the reflective coating, I got pulled over recently, and they told me the reflective coating wore off, and I could get a ticket for that because I guess if I go through the toll roads, they can't really like snap a pic of my license plate. So I ordered a new license plate through the DMV, and lo and behold, they don't give you the same license plate number. They switched that shit up. So I put the new license plate on. I live in an apartment complex. They got towing if you park in here and you're not like registered under the system. Now, obviously, the car was registered under the system, but I got the new license plate. I forgot to register it in the system. Well, actually, my mom did, but shit, it's my responsibility too, I guess. So, yeah, we forgot to put that shit in the system, and then the car got towed. And then yesterday, I tried to go drive it. You got to drive it like once a week or twice a week or something. So I went to go drive it, nowhere to be found. So I'm like, oh, motherfucker, it's towed. I already know what happened. Call my mom, she helps figure it all out because I'm not good at that shit. So she calls the tow company, sets it all up for me to go pick it up this morning, 11 a.m. This is where it gets fucking brutal for me. 11 a.m. By the way, $600. $600. $600. Okay, for this fucking car getting towed. $600. Six blue faced babies. I was gonna say six bands, but no, six blue faced babies. Anyway, here's what happened. I had to Uber to the tow yard at 11 a.m. this morning. I Uber there. I'm all out of sorts because this isn't the shit I'm good at. I'm like out of sorts when I gotta do shit like this. So I pull up to the tow yard in the Uber. I pop out the Uber, leave my keys in the motherfucking Uber. Leave the keys in the motherfucking Uber. I gotta fucking get a Uber back to my house now, right? I'm not sure. At this point in time, when I called the Uber to get back home, I'm like, did I leave him in her car or did I not even lock my door this morning? I got no clue. I got no clue. I'm like out of sorts. It's like 11 a.m. I'm at the tow yard. I just got no clue what's going on. So I get the Uber back to my house. Boom. I realize, okay, the door's locked. I must have took the keys into the lady's Uber. I gotta call her somehow, some way, get my keys back. I reach back out to her, through the Uber app. You can't, there's a way, lost item, can we get it brought back to me? So I did the whole thing. She brings it back to me. All right. Now it's a $20 finder's fee. So $15 for the Uber there. That's like average. It might have been like 16 or 17, whatever the case, but it was about $15 for the Uber there, right? Like 19 for the Uber back. $20 finder's fee for her to drop off my keys back to me. Then I got to pay another $15 to Uber over there. On top of the six blue-faced babies we got to shell out for the car in the tow yard anyway. So it was just absolutely insane, bro. Like I was like almost down like 75 bucks on Ubers before I even got my car out the fucking tow yard. Crazy day. And then, my mom, she sent me the picture of the insurance card and it was blurry and I knew it was blurry and I was like, motherfucker, motherfucker. And of course my mom's going on a boat today cuz my sister's over there for her birthday or something like that. So in Hawaii, when I say over there in Hawaii, my sister's visiting my mom. They're on a boat and shit. My mom's like, I'm gonna get on this boat in 30 minutes. Like, if you need anything, let me know. So I couldn't call her for this blurry insurance card to get it retaken. But best believe the tow yard lady tried to pull some bullshit and she tried to be like, oh, you're gonna have a resend this. Like, we can't accept this. And I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck? But anyway, I was really nice. Even though all the shit was happening to me, like you guys should know about me by now, I'm a pretty nice guy. So it's not like, I was giving her attitude or anything like that. Um, actually, she was chill with me. She's like, you know what? I'll let it go. I don't usually let it go, but I'll let it go for this one time. And I know it was because I was extra nice to her. And it's not like I was trying to be extra nice. It's just I'm a nice person. I don't like to be rude to people or make them feel a certain way. So, yeah, that is the story. That's the story. So I eventually got the car back, and then, yeah, then I was just doing some other shit all day too. So won't bore you guys with those details. I will not bore you guys with those details. Now, pertaining to today's headline, and obviously, the whole thing with the neighbor and the yelling and shit. So I'm trying to be cautious. Oh, wrong one. Okay, but we got to get that bread. So, but once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jungle fever type of night. I feel it. Exactly, Tyler Betts. Honestly, I think we're all on the vibe right now. We all on the vibe right now. We liking the dark stream. We went dark tonight. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It's the vibe I'm feeling. All right. So if we're dark on the stream, I'm feeling this vibe right now. LFG, damn. Dana needs to bury the hatchet. Uncle Francis to the rescue. I feel you, Octane. Him says, last time my car got towed wrongfully, I made a damage claim on the undercarriage of my car and got paid $9,000. Didn't even fix shit. Fuck the tow company and fuck the car. Ooh, damn him. Now that's something I could get behind him. That's something I could get behind. I'm gonna call my mom about that. Him, that's an excellent suggestion. I'm gonna call my mom about that. When people try to screw you over, screw them back, make a damage claim with the tow company insurance. Ah, genius. Now I'm down with that. I'm down with that one. Lift and Inspire says I was gonna bet 400 on Max, then I bet 400 on Charles. It paid 626 USD. Let's fucking go. Congratulations, homie. I lost my 50 ball. I lost my 50 ball on Max, but that's okay. Well, Andrew Nance goes, hell of a morning. It was a hell of a morning. Lift and Inspire says they pay a lot from promoting their casino. Oh, the casino you went to? And then Dundaughter goes, that's the best thing to do, TBH. At the end, it sucks, but everyone's just doing their job, so it always helps to be nice. Yeah, my thing is, you got to yell at the right people, right? You got to yell at the right people. And the front desk lady at the tow yard, she's just not the right lady to yell at. Now, getting a little passive aggressive with it and filing a claim through my insurance company, that's something I could get behind 100,000%. And I could use that 9K too and fuck the car, him. Fuck the car. I could use that 9K for myself. So we might do something like that. It's an old ass car too. It's kind of a beater at this point. So maybe we can get some cash for it. Dana's a liar. Black don't crack, Spanish don't vanish. I love it. Okay, let's get into some of the topics, but let me just finish off these oats real quick. But there's a decent amount of stuff going on today. All right. Tonight we rocking with the maple brown sugar oats, little banana sliced up in there, some frozen blueberries. For those wondering. For those wondering, that's what we rocking tonight. Little maple brown sugar oatmeal. What you eating, homie? I just told you, Andrew. I just told you, homie. Little brown sugar maple oatmeal, sliced up bananas and blueberries. Okay. One of my favorite things to eat is actually oatmeal. I don't know why. Oatmeal and rice. I don't know why I'm like weird like that, but like rice and oatmeal, I could like live off of that shit probably. And eggs. All right. So what's the rundown for the day? We got a few things to talk about. Honestly, I don't even know if I got the rundown in me. I don't I don't know. Let's just get going on this. So, Jon Jones, right? He issued a statement today responding to Dana again. Dana started it. Jon responded. Dana responded. Now Jon's responding again. All right. So this is pretty much a continuation of last night, but it also kind of like this story, this story really morphed together two storylines that are going on right now, which is Conor Benn's $15 million payday for a one-off fight, allegedly. I was just watching the Ariel Helwani interview with Eddie Hearn, and they're drawing suspicion to this alleged, one-off $15 million fight. I mean, think about it though, guys. Think about it. In what world do you envision the UFC paying Conor Benn 15 milli per? 15 milli per is crazy. And the upscale off of starting at 15 milli per fight is insane, bro. By the end of like 5 fights, this guy's gonna be upwards of 100 million for what? He's not even a world champion. Never won a belt in his life. It's not even like he's a former champion. And so this is gonna tie into a lot of things. This is gonna tie into a lot of things. So just fasten your seatbelts, boys. We're officially getting started. I haven't said this yet, so let me say it for the one time. All right. Run up the likes on the stream. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We are live for the next 90 days. This is like day 13, I believe. Day 13, or actually, I think day 12. Today might be day 12. So day 12 of the 90-day live stream streak. Everybody subscribe. If you're not subscribed, run up the likes. I see Andrew Nansen here. He getting pissed. He's saying only 6 likes. Run up the likes, boys. Run them up, boys. Okay. So yeah, the whole thing, with Conor Benn and the 15 million, Ariel's drawing question to it. Is it really 15 million for a one-off, or is this a bunch of hype, a bunch of hoopla, and this was more so a shady tactic to get Eddie Hearn off of Matchroom Boxing, right? Essentially, what Ariel's telling Eddie is he's like, did the UFC make it seem like it's a one-off $15 million fight, right? So that you guys over at Matchroom couldn't match it because who the fuck's gonna pay this guy 15 milli per? Like, of course Matchroom let him go. Dana's like, he had the opportunity to match it. Okay, well, you're offering him $15 million per fight, on paper. On paper, but these guys take advantage of loopholes and all this kind of shit. So again, I'm hearing this through the grapevine from Ariel, but I'm gonna try to piece this together for you guys. I'm not saying I know this for a fact, so don't take it as fact, but I'm trying to piece this together for you guys. We're all piecing it together. All right. But, you know, Ariel claims that the UFC doctored up this contract with Conor Benn to make it seem like he's going to be getting $15 million per fight, but there's a chance that they're going to basically do it like every other UFC contract where it's like, no, you're getting $15 million for 4 fights, right? We're going to divide this $15 million up across your contract, right? So however many fights you have on this contract, right, by the end of the contract you would have made 15 million. This is the equivalent to the Ultimate Fighter contracts, right? Everybody should know by now that if you win the Ultimate Fighter, you win $100,000 contract. Does that mean you get $100,000 per fight? Fuck no, it doesn't. If you ever thought that in your life, okay, if you ever thought that in your life, shame on you. Shame on you for thinking that, oh, they signed to a $100,000 contract off tough and that's what they get paid per. No, that's what their contract, by the time they fight out the contract, that's how much they would have made. All right. So it seems like, Ariel asked the questions. Okay. And when Ariel asks certain questions, he generally he knows the answer to it, but he's not the one that can reveal it. So he's asking an educated question. Okay, he's asking a question that he likely knows the answer to. Do I know that he knows the answer? No. But if you know Ariel's track record, okay, he likely knows the answer. That's why he knows to ask it. But honestly, it's a pretty obvious question. I probably would have asked Eddie Hearn something like that myself if I was getting questions together for the interview. I'd be like, homie, is this a $15 million per fight deal? Or like, is this contract worth $15 million? Meaning like he signed to a 4-fight deal, right? And at the end of this 4-fight deal, it'll be $15 million net. So it's honestly, I don't know. It could be that Ariel knows information behind the scenes and it's an educated question, or Ariel's just using his common sense and asking the question. But, this ties into the whole Jon Jones thing now because Jon Jones came out today. He told all about his UFC White House negotiations because Dana's claiming he was never a part of it. And this whole UFC White House negotiations has become a giant mess that every time I want to think about it, I start getting confused. And that shit pisses me off low key. Okay, I do not like getting confused when this stuff should be very straightforward. But we're going to try to get to the very bottom of it today because everybody's coming out, right? Malky Kawa came out because Malky Kawa is also, Ilia Toporia's manager. Malky Kawa came on Twitter the morning of UFC White House essentially getting announced, and he insinuated that he got a deal done. Everybody thought it was the Jon Jones deal, but it turned out to be the Ilia Toporia deal. Then it turns out Ilia Toporia wasn't supposed to be on UFC White House. So it makes sense as to, Malky saying, or insinuating that that deal that got done through all-night negotiation was for Ilia. He's come out today, he spoke on it, and he said, yeah, that all-night negotiation was for Ilia. It wasn't for Jon. So there's just so much to all this. We got to really dive into it again to get to the bottom of it. But here's the new details for Jon Jones. Let me give it to you now. Let me just give it to you now. All right. Homie asked for $30 million. The UFC didn't want to pay him $30 million. Now, Jon, what's the word? Not hints, but he he insinuates this in his statement that he released today. He insinuates this. It's like I don't know, the word starts with an R, not relates, but sounds something along those lines. But he refers. Okay. He slightly refers to this in his statement that he releases, and he says along the lines of the UFC, they shot me a number. I was in a negotiation with them. I gave them the number I wanted. I was even willing to come down from the number that I wanted, right? I came down from the number that I wanted. And then their response to me was to lowball me again, which I would assume is where the negotiations fell through. So what's that number? 30 million. He asked for something in that $30 million ballpark. Apparently the UFC brought it back down and they said, no, 15 milli. Because apparently Conor Benn is the new benchmark. How crazy. How crazy. And then how are you going to relate a guy like Jon Jones to Conor Benn? Mr. Undefeated, an actual world champion across multiple weight classes. Tell him that the benchmark is the Conor Benn number. The Conor Benn number is only to serve Dana and whatever the fuck he's been doing over there at Zuffa Boxing, to build up his reputation, to get himself a stable. But he's fucking these guys over. Okay, Jai Opetaia, he lost his IBF title because Dana's beefing with these guys. I heard Jai Opetaia was crying on the broadcast because Dana lost him his belt. Because Dana originally said, I'm not going to acknowledge these other organized bodies, These other sanctioning bodies, IBF, WBO, or WBC, right? WBA. I'm not going to recognize these other sanctioning bodies. We're going to have one belt, the Zuffa boxing belt. Then he starts to run into troubles and he starts moving the goalpost. Oh, now we'll do it for certain fighters. It's Jai Opetai's dream. Who am I to stand in front of Jai Opetai? Well, I don't know. You're the guy who said that you were going to do that. That's who you are. Now you're not because you need talent, right? And this talent of yours doesn't want to compete if he can't achieve things in boxing, on the level of the rest of his peers. His peers don't respect him being a Zuffa boxing champion. No one does. What the fuck does that entail? What kind of history does that have to it? So I don't even know how I got on the Jai Opatai rant, but I'm just saying that what I'm saying is, Dana and him signing of these guys and like I don't know. He's fucking them over. He signed Jai Opatai. He fucked him over. Jai Opatai lost his belt. Now he's the Zuffa boxing welterweight champion or something like that. But he lost his other belt. He's not a Ring Magazine champion anymore. At least I don't think. I'm not for sure about the Ring Magazine champion. But anyway, Jon Jones asked for 30 million. And the UFC is not willing to give it to him. Why? And in what world is he worth as much as Conor Benn? In what world? And what's crazy about this too, guess who came to his defense? Of all people, guess who came to Jon Jones's defense? Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall comes to Jon Jones's defense. He lost the belts. Yeah, he definitely lost whoever sanctioning body he's beefing with, he lost that belt. Because Dana's beefing with the sanctioning body. Dana said that some guy came through to pick up a $200 check. That guy, that's who Jai lost his belt to. That sanctioning body. Yes, Cupcake. They took the belt from him for winning the Zuffa belt. Yes. Yes. Apparently Jai Opetaia was crying. Because he's not the champion anymore. Now that could have been propaganda from Eddie Hearn, because Jai Opetaia could have been crying because he became the Zuffa boxing world champion, but who the fuck would cry over that? Who would cry over that? But I am bringing that, as an option for you guys to kind of consider. Um, so yeah. I mean, let's get into this whole Jon Jones thing, but it is pretty disheartening that the UFC wouldn't give Jon Jones a $30 million payday with everything he's done in the promotion. Tom Aspinall coming to Jon's defense, kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Okay, so let's read what Jon Jones had to say. But let me take care of something real quick. Okay. And what's poppin' HT? Tony M says, "Run It Up" by G Herbo, a banger song. Facts. Last I heard, Jai said the IBF belt was on the line. Let's get to the bottom of this. I didn't watch Zuffa boxing, but Eddie Hearn was saying that Jai Opetaia got stripped of the belt. Did On Friday, the sanctioning body released a statement that he was breaking their rules by competing for the Zuffa boxing belt, and as a result, his fight with Brandon Glanton would be unsanctioned. However, he had followed all the rules up to that point and insisted on being on being handed the belt after winning. On Friday, at their pre-fight press conference, Zuffa Boxing proudly displayed the IBF belt alongside their new Zuffa title. and the famed Ring Magazine belt. However, the sanctioning body allegedly were upset with the placement of their strap, and hours later they released a damning press release. They claimed that Jai Opetaia would be stripped of the belt once he stepped in the ring to compete for the new belt, making his fight unsanctioned. However, he insisted on following all protocols, and when he won, continued declaring his interest in becoming undisputed champion. It's a bit frustrating, but I'm not going to sit here and badmouth the IBF. It's not really my style to badmouth anyone, but I really hope they change their minds. I got told after the fight about 5 minutes ago that as of now, I'm actually not stripped. I don't know if that's correct. Fake news. I honestly don't know what's going on. There's been so much noise going on in and out. There's been so much noise going on in the outside and stuff like that. I'm just trying to do my thing. I've respected the belt. I've done everything in my power to keep the belt. I've got it on the stage right now. I had it at my weigh-in. I had it everywhere and abided by their rules. So I'm a little unsure, but I'm really hoping they can just put the nonsense aside. The beef isn't between me and them. It's not the fighter, it's the outside that's causing conflict, and I'm the only one suffering. So it's very, very frustrating. But at the same time, fuck, it is what it is. What can I do but train hard and wait for the next one? So it sounds like Jai, he was informed once he got backstage that he wasn't going to be stripped of the IBF belt. But I guess Eddie Hearn's story does check out that he was emotional after the win, likely because he figured, he was no longer the IBF champion. It was a bittersweet moment for him, right? It was a bittersweet moment. By winning and competing last night, it means that he gave up the IBF belt and his dream of being undisputed, and that's his overall dream. So hopefully that was context for you guys. Um HT says I told you the Jon Jones deal on yesterday's stream. I said Jones wanted 15 mil to fight per UFC responded hell no, so Jon said fuck you back to the UFC. HT, you were onto it yesterday. You were. HT, if White House doesn't happen, I'm gonna have to send somebody to come check on you. Make sure you're not some type of spy. Cause you do be predicting these things. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. So the Jai Obatai, that was a little bit of a side note, but here is the here's Jon Jones' statement today. And I do have Dana White's statements from last night. So we'll play the whole thing. It's all in this post. So Jon Jones, he goes, "Hey everyone, I wanted to address Dana White's comments from this past weekend because the truth matters to me and the fans. Dana, you were heated about why I'm not on the White House card, but let's clear something up. My team and I were actually negotiating with the UFC for that fight, real negotiations. I even came down from my original number, and what was I offered in return? I was lowballed. Yes, I have arthritis in my hip and it's painful, but that doesn't mean I can't fight. So let me get this straight. If I had accepted the lowball offer, suddenly my hip would be fine and it'd be on the White House card. Or no, suddenly my hip would be fine and I'd be on the White House card. That doesn't make sense. I even received stem cells treatment last week to get ready for the White House card, and training camp was scheduled to start today. I was preparing to be ready. I understand business deals fall through sometimes, but going out publicly and saying things that aren't true isn't right. After everything I've given the UFC, the years, the title defenses, the fights, hearing that I'm quote unquote done is disappointing, especially when, as recently as Friday, UFC was calling me trying to get me on that White House card for a much lower number. If the UFC truly feels like I'm done, then I respectfully ask to be released from my contract. Today, no more spins, no more games. Thank you to the real fans who knows what's up. Bones out. So, a couple interesting things. I mean, as recently as Friday, the UFC was calling him. Friday is where that news came out about so and so's off the card. I was saying, I thought that Mick Maynard was saying George. Was it possible that he was saying Jones? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I think the biggest red flag aside from the whole, asking for his release from his contract, which is a weird one in itself, right? Because like Jon, first of all, you retired, homie. And like, I don't know. Jon's whole retirement and still being an active fighter, that's a whole nother conversation in its own right. It's like I asked to be released from my contract. It's like, bro, you ain't itching to fight. You ain't itching to fight. The only thing you wanted to fight on was UFC White House anyway. Now you got UFC White House taken away from you, right? And now all of a sudden you got something to prove to someone. Now you need to be released and you got to go fight elsewhere. Get right with yourself, homie. That wasn't what you've been saying this whole time. You retired and you came out of retirement for one reason, for one fight, for the UFC White House. Now you don't get the UFC White House and it's like, oh, let me get released from my contract. I'm being wasted. My opportunities are being wasted. I'm being shelved. It's like, please, dude, please. What the fuck where are you gonna go? Where the hell are you gonna go? But to me, the more interesting part of this is this part right here. Saying that there were real negotiations, number one, because Dana says they weren't really negotiating with him because he says he was never considered to be on it. If you're never considered to be on it, you're not really negotiating. You're just talking. So, Jon says, no, there were real negotiations. Like if I were to have accepted these things, I would have been on this card. That's the thing that I think people, maybe if you didn't read between the lines here, okay, if there were no negotiations, then that means Jon would have never been on the card. However, Jon is saying that if I would have taken their low ball offer, I would have been on this card. So how is it that we never negotiated? It's that the negotiation fell through. It's that you didn't want to pay me my money. And like I said last night, now, fans are complaining about the lack of the star power on this card, the lack of hype behind these fights. And now you're not going to admit that, you kissed one of the hype fights goodbye because of money, right? Why would you admit that? That's going to make you look bad. They're going to be like, oh, so you could have booked it, but you got greedy. That's the problem. And Dana doesn't want these greedy rumors continuing to circulate more than they already are. But that, that's between the lines right there. So let me read it one more time. It goes, real negotiations. I even came down from my original number, 30 million. And what was I offered in return? I was lowballed. Imagine coming down from your original number and then getting lowballed again. Crazy. Crazy. And, like I said, Tom Aspinall, he found out about this through his interview with Ariel today. And he goes, this is going to surprise some of you guys, but why wouldn't they pay him 30 million? He's not worth 30 million. And then, Ariel goes on to say like, well, Tom Aspinall, you're probably worth like 25 million. Conor McGregor is probably worth like 50 to 75 million. And what Tom Aspinall says? He goes, well, tell Dana get that 25 million ready. It's like, Tom Aspinall, pump the brakes, homie. Pump the brakes. Okay, you've been sob storying for months on end. Okay, chill out. I know you heard 25 million, but I mean, tell Dana to back up the Brinks truck is crazy. Announce your return first. Announce that your eye is back to full health. Then you could tell Dana to back up the Brinks truck. But just one step at a time, Mr. Tom Aspinall. That's okay. He got a bit excited. He was like super hyped. He's like, no, I'm ready right now. Like, he's like, I'm stoked on that 25 million that you said, Ariel. You had to have seen the interview. I'm sure a lot of you guys have by now. But just to give you guys the full context, if you haven't seen, here's Dana White, what he said last night in response to Jon Jones. I'm gonna show you all the context right now. Hold on.
You ended up deleting them. Have you seen his comments? No. Or he basically very heavily pushed back on you, saying that there were no negotiations. And then
I never said there were no negotiations. I never said that. I said, were they talking to Jon Jones? They talked to everybody. Everybody was talked to. Not one word of what I said was not true about the whole Jon Jones thing. And how many times have I sat up here and said, he's not fighting at the White House? No. And have you guys not all seen the video of the dude with the meta glasses on when he didn't know he was being filmed, telling them that his hips are fucking shot and he needs hip replacement? Did you not see the videos of him running on the flag football game? And what did I say that wasn't true? It was all true. And you guys all bust my balls about how much I love Jon Jones. And John's the greatest of all time.
But this morning, Jon Jones.
Well, what you said, if you really want to get pressed about what you said that wasn't true, is that, You're acting as if Jon Jones was never in consideration for UFC White House, but you were negotiating with him. So you're just contradicting yourself, Dana. You're just simply contradicting yourself. Stop being a sensationalist, I guess. I don't know. Maybe don't say never, ever, never, ever, ever. Maybe. Like, maybe. I don't know, bro. You're the one saying it. Stop gaslighting us. You're the one who's saying it. You know, clearly, we don't know what the fuck to believe. What's poppin', Jew? Tyler Betts, let me answer one thing Tyler Betts said. He goes, how do you retire while you still have a contract? It happens all the time, actually, Tyler Betts. Jorge Masvidal basically did the same thing. Basically, it just means that the guys don't want to fight out their deal, right? You signed, you had 5 fights on there, you retire. And the UFC, they're like these devil contracts, bro. You retire from the UFC and you still have fights on your deal. You quite literally are never the UFC will own you for the rest of your life until you fight those fights out. That's what it seems like to me. I don't know if it has an expiration date or if the expiration date is the fighting out of the fights. But like, you know, Francis Ngannou, his PFL contract had an expiration date. I don't know if the UFC offers expiration dates or if it's like, you know, indefinite contracts. You just got to fight it out. Because wouldn't Connor's contract have expired by now? Wouldn't you think? You know, and that's why actually Nate Diaz did get away. Nate Diaz did get away. But that's why. That's why Jon still has a contract. But, you know, typical Dana.
Jones went on a bit of a Twitter.
Typical Dana. Now,
no way in hell Jon Jones is going to be booked for the White House card. Wasn't going to happen. But
that's the lie. That's the lie, Dana. He's going to say, but we talked to him.
The matchmakers were out talking to everybody, seeing what was possible, and they brought me every possible fight that could be made.
Honestly, I mean, I think that I'm right. I think that, like, from my take last night, it's pretty fair. I think that it's obvious. I mean, the question is this: why would you reach out to Jon Jones if he was never going to be in consideration? You just said it in that last slide I just played, right? He was never going to be a headliner, but we did talk to him. We talked to everybody. What that screams to me is that they use Jon Jones as a pawn. I don't know. But that's honestly what I'm going to choose to kind of believe right now. They use Jon as a pawn. That's why Jon feels misled. That's why Dana's so vindictive in saying what he wants to say right now, because there's this gray area that took place, which is they use Jon as a pawn. That's why Jon feels like, well, there was legit negotiations. You really liked me, right? I used this example yesterday about guys do this to girls, girls do this to guys. You feel me? Typical. You got the ones you really want, and then you got the ones that in case you really want don't work out, you got the backup. Now, a lot of you guys were telling me last night, wouldn't they really want Jon Jones? Why would Jon Jones be the backup? Well, I don't know. Maybe he's retired and old and he got no hip. And, you know, he's just along the lines of all these other old ass people coming out of retirement for money grabs. And so they're like, we'll settle for this one, but we really want Ilia versus Gaethje, something along those lines. But if anybody tries to fuck around and negotiate or any of this stuff, then we will break our rule and go with Jon Jones. That's what I think it is. Otherwise, if we're going off of everything these guys are saying, that's what I think it is. You know, that's what I think it is. If we're going off everything that's been being said. Yes, they talked to Jon Jones, but he was used as a pawn, just in case. You know, they texted other chicks first. All right. They texted other chicks first, but they texted Jon, you know, as a backup, just in case while they were waiting for a response. Now, that can move, but that's where I'm at right now with it. But we have more things to look at. But to finish off this whole saga between Jon Jones and Dana, let's continue. So, you know, Jon Jones, I'm released from the UFC, laying in my bed, wrapping my head around this perception. All I can think is how fucking painful. Man, how fucking painful. And then on the other half of me is like, but is it really though? So all of this negotiating was complete BS. Is that what you want me to agree to publicly? If I would prove him wrong, would I be wrong? You know, keyword, so all of this negotiating was complete BS. Yes. Yes. He literally sounds like an angry ex-girlfriend. Like an angry side hoe. who like is getting ghosted now, right? The angry side hoe getting ghosted now because we found a real one. We found ourselves a golden retriever. Now we not responding to the side hoe, and she like so all of our times, all of our nights we spent together, it was BS. It was BS. Shit, yeah. Yeah, it was. I never committed to you. You feel me? And that's what this is right here. This is what this is. In my opinion, right now as it stands, that's what this is. If I'm supposed to publicly agree that our negotiations was a lie, we have a problem. I'll be the fall guy. Here's Jon Jones, going on IG Live, falling asleep on IG Live, saying he's so pissed, channeling his inner Cartman. Fucking gas. These motherfucking gas.
Gas. Fucking gas.
Oh wait.
I'm so pissed off.
Okay. So there's more to it, but I just want to read one thing. Octane says they did the same thing with Habib during the Conor versus Eddie Alvarez negotiations. Homie, this is what they do with everybody. This is literally what they do with everybody. Like, if you think that the UFC just calls two people and tries to book a fight, you're tripping. They pin them against each other. It's like, okay, let's call, Joaquin Buckley. Let's call Sean Brady. And then if any of them tries to BS or negotiate, this is why I keep telling you guys this. It sounds redundant, but it's like it's got to be said. If any of these guys tries to negotiate, let's call up this other person, call it Yaroslav Amosov. Okay, if one of these guys tries not to negotiate, we need to call a thirsty fighter who will take the opportunity because he'll be happy to take it, right? Meaning like he's going to just be so grateful that he's getting called up to a ranked fight, right? He's not even going to consider asking for more money because he's so low on the totem pole, right? He's unranked. So they'll reach out to a guy like that who's going to accept it no matter what. Okay? And then they'll take these two guys and it's like, yeah, you better not negotiate. Negotiate and you're going to kiss this fight goodbye. You're going to hear Sean Brady versus Yaroslav Amosov in a couple weeks. If you try to negotiate, we're going to ghost you and you're going to hear a new fight announcement. And that's pretty much what happened to Jon Jones. And that's what happens to all fighters. That's why you guys need, this is why I can't go back and explain everything from scratch every time. That's why you guys got to be in these streams every night, because I do be referring to things because I talk about things that are like lasting topics. I don't like to talk about things that aren't real topics, that are just like sensationalized things. You feel me? Why do you think I don't be posting all these updates about UFC White House? I posted as soon as the fights actually got booked. Now I'm talking about it because these are facts. But up until this point, I really ignored UFC White House. So what I'm referring to when I say, you need to be tapped into the old streams, it's because, do we all remember when Ilia Toporia called out Justin Gaethje for complaining about his fighter pay before UFC 325 against Paddy Pimblett? Ilia Toporia says, oh, don't be complaining now, homie. I tried to call you in the past, and I told you we need to band together because the UFC is going to pin a third guy between us, and I want more money, okay? And I want to fight you. So if the UFC comes and brings in another guy to you, Gaethje, because I'm negotiating, you tell the UFC you don't want to fight that guy, you want to fight me. We band together, we help each other get more money. You know what Gaethje told him? Oh, that's what you got to do your own thing, bro. I make my own money regardless. I'm happy with what I'm getting. It ain't about what you're getting, Gaethje. It's about getting fucking Ilia Topuria what he's worth, and then also giving the fans the fight they want to see. You talk about why the UFC's watered down. It's shit like that happens that waters it down too. The lack of wanting to pay the fighters, the complete and utter domineering control they keep over everything in regards to the matchmaking. Okay, that's part of the reason why we get shit ass fights. Because God forbid somebody tries to negotiate. God forbid, kiss your favorite fight goodbye. Sean O'Malley just talked about it. He said he didn't negotiate shit for UFC White House. He's been a good little boy. You know, he's been sitting crisscross applesauce in a square. He not moving. He not moving till Daddy Dana says so. Good little boy he is. You know, these guys all are getting dicked around. All of them getting dicked around. But, you know, that whole thing about bringing up Gaethje, it just solidifies the point of what I'm trying to tell you guys about the UFC involving third parties in negotiations to prevent fighters from actually negotiating. Now, imagine how much that stifles the growth of fighter pay when you do this over and over and over and over again across 5,000 fighters or however many fighters are on the roster. You are stifling the shit. You are stifling the shit. Shout out to Jim Lotus, my man. And Jew, what was the pause moment? I usually catch my pause moments. Was it me who paused it? Andrew, it's okay. Andrew. uh, Andrew, you can leave Jim Lotus alone. He's cool. He's cool, Andrew. But thank you for your help. You didn't ban him though, did you, Andrew? I might have to bring Jim Lotus back in here. Hopefully you just put him on timeout. If you hid Jim Lotus, Andrew, then please unhide him. But just want to make sure, because I like Jim Lotus. He needs to be, you know, he's good in the chat. Let's continue with this. Jim Lotus, drop another comment just so I can make sure you can still comment in here. I can't undo it. I think Jim Lotus, drop a comment. Did we just lose Jim? Jim's going to have to create a new YouTube channel. Okay, 10 minutes in corner. Perfect. No worries. 10 minutes in the corner is perfectly fine. Okay, let's continue. I lost track real quick.
Fell out, which is fair enough, but there is obviously...
Well, there's weird circumstances around it that we probably shouldn't talk about.
Okay. There is speculation, of course, that it's Jon Jones.
No, it's not.
Was Jon...
Ever, which I told you guys 100,000 times, was Jon Jones even remotely in my mind to fight at the White House. I wouldn't... First of all, I've told you why I wouldn't do it. And number two, some guy with, meta glasses on filmed him talking about his hips, that his hips are so bad. And I don't know if you guys saw that flag football game where he can barely run. Jon Jones he retired because of his hips. He's got arthritis in his hips. Apparently he's been, doctors say he should have hip replacement. So
okay.
Add that on top of all the other reasons that I wouldn't. The Jon Jones thing is bullshit.
Okay.
I'm not saying they weren't talking to Jon Jones and that Jon Jones wasn't interested in the fight.
Fell out, which is fair enough, but there is...
In the fight. And what was even crazier is Jon Jones came out and was like, I'm in negotiations right now for the White House fight, after I had already sent a text to his lawyer saying, never going to happen ever.
Is it fair to say then Jon Jones is retired and this is the end of his time?
Yes.
Okay.
Very fair. In the fight.
I don't get why Dana has to go down the route of like, well, John's hip is bad. He can't fight. His hip is bad. Like, you give a fuck, bro. You brought fucking Stipe back. Like, you give a shit. His hip is bad. He can't fight. I mean, Dana, cut the bullshit. And you keep repeating this. You repeated it 2 nights in a row. Don't catch me, let me catch you saying it a third time. Andrew Nance, don't sweat it, homie. It's all good. All good, brother. Jim will be back. He'll be back with a vengeance for sure. Shout out to Jim. But so this is the whole Dana and Jon Jones saga. Yeah, Jew says Bisping fought with one eye. It's like, bro, what is Dana talking about? Like, oh my God, like guys, he can't fight. It's his hip. Just be real, bro. Be real. Say, I don't like him. 93 Octane says, be careful when anyone speaks in absolutes. Words like never and always are red flags. Dana stays speaking in absolutes. That's one of his problems. He stays speaking in absolutes. But um honestly, like Dana doesn't really have much to say. I feel like Dana's at a loss for words as to how to save face in this Jon Jones situation. I think he's making himself look terrible. Old ass motherfucker. Don't know what Dana's deal is these days. You know, I got a homie who really likes Dana. I'm just gonna ask him again. He a bit more casual. I'm ask him again about that. I'm gonna be like, yo, you still fuck with Dana, or is he like out of touch? Because you know, I used to fuck with Joe Rogan heavy until he started becoming out of touch. Oh wait, let me actually post something to the IG real quick though. It's new training footage of Joaquin. Anyone see it? Joaquin did post some new training footage today. And we got to post it. But I mean, essentially, Sean Brady got two options, boys. Can someone tell me what two options Sean Brady's got in the chat? Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Tell me the two options Sean Brady got. I want to see it in the chat. I want to see it in the chat. Don't think you could just ignore that either. Okay. I might appear like I'm moving on from topics right now, but I fully expect to see Sean Brady's two options in that octagon come April 25th. I want to see it in the chat right now. Eric says, to be fair, Bisping was hiding the fact that he had one eye. That is true. We always got to be fair. And that is true, Eric. That is true. Oh, beautiful thing right here. Masvidal and Ben Askren at the baptism. Okay, so a few things. We're still on the Jon Jones, Dana White, UFC White House topic. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Which one's longer? 158, 156. Fuck it. Let's go with the longer one. I don't know about you guys, but I like the long video. I want the long one every time. I don't like the chopped up shit. Stop chopping up these clips. Let me hear it in its entirety. Bilal and Buckley. Shout out to Bilal. I'm waiting. What are the two options Sean Brady got in that octagon come April 25th? I'm waiting. Are we really not going to get it? I'm going to be disgusted with you boys if you don't deliver that. If you don't tell me the two options Sean Brady's got come March 25th, I'm going to be disgusted with you boys. Sorry, April 25th. Okay. Here is Malky Kawa. Let's see what he said. Ilia Toporia's manager, Malky, clears up everything about the rumors surrounding the White House card. He confirms that the UFC originally told Ilia he was not going to fight on the White House card. Later, they asked him last week about fighting Islam or Gaethje. They chose Islam, but negotiations never started for whatever reason. Dana said that Islam has a hand injury, so that was probably the reason, and only on Friday night did the fight between Ilia and Justin come together. Ant says, I can't believe people were okay with Jones fighting anybody that wasn't Tom after the last few years of interim BS. I'm personally glad he's not involved. I haven't heard that take, Ant, but that's actually a great take. That's a great take. That would have been me like 4 or 5 months ago. But I've been like, you know, I was more pissed at John for not fighting Tom at the time. I've moved past it heavily. But yeah. And supposedly Islam and Toporia was never an idea according to Dana. Yeah. Yeah, except apparently, according to Malky, you know, it was an option until they reached out to Islam after Ilia. They basically, I mean, in other words, Malky says this. Malky says this. This is what Malky. This is what they're saying. Ilia Toporia, he was offered Islam or Gaethje. He was offered Islam or Gaethje. Well, let's play it because I only read the quote, but let me break this down after we play it.
I'm going to tell you guys the truth. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but the reality of it is that it all came together Friday night, like at midnight. I got woken up out of my sleep that this is the fight they wanted to make, and then it was an all night. It legitimately, I did not sleep after that. I didn't go to sleep till the next night, and it was funny. Hunter didn't go to sleep either. We were told that Ilia was not going to be on the card earlier that week, right? Then we get a call that said, hey, if we can make a fight, you can fight Islam or Gaethje. We're focused on getting an Islam fight. So when you hear Dana say, well, that was never a fight, it was because it was talked about, but there was no agreement to fight anybody. Friday, I'm sorry. So then Wednesday, I got asked, would you guys want to do this or that? And we said, absolutely. They gave us a number. We said, absolutely not. And then we didn't hear anything after that, right? I'm sleeping Friday afternoon. So Friday night, early, I went to bed. I'm thinking we're not on the card. It's just not happening. They haven't called me. They're announcing they're going to announce it by Saturday. I say that this shit was crazy. It was like they already said we're going to announce on Saturday the card. 12 midnight, literally 12 midnight till almost 11 o'clock, 11:30 the next morning, right? It was just nonstop negotiating between I'm on the phone with Hunter for an hour and change, and then I'm on the phone with Ilia for an hour and change. So like, all right, so again, to accurately give the whole thing, I specifically called Hunter and said, do you guys plan on using Ilia for this fight at all in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is no, he's going back to Spain. If he goes back to Spain, right, and you guys call in a month or 6 weeks or whatever for him to fight, you know how that's going to go. It's not going to be a simple negotiation like, I don't know which fight fell apart. I can't call it Islam. Islam is injured, right? So that fight wasn't something that was a done deal and then it fell apart, so Gaethje stepped in. It was one of those like, hey, if we can make Islam fight, do you want to do that? All right. If not, you guys can do Gaethje, right? We had our choice, and we said yes to Islam, and we said yes to Gaethje. It was just more about the numbers and the finances.
Interesting. It's so interesting, man. This shit is crazy. I mean, all I'm really getting from it is for some odd reason the UFC didn't want to negotiate with anybody for UFC White House. I'm just reading this. I'm reading the room. All right, I'm reading the room, and it seems like, the UFC wanted no negotiation whatsoever for UFC White House. That's what they were trying to go for. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to negotiate for UFC White House. It's a part of the business. But like offering Ilia Toporia, right, the money, and then them saying absolutely not, and then just like going completely ghost on him for days. I mean, I guess that's a negotiation, but they stalled the shit out to the very last minute. I mean, of course shit's falling out. You're putting together Ilia Topuria, his fight on like Wednesday. On Wednesday, you were putting together Ilia's fight. On Wednesday, you called and you're like, yo, we can do Ilia or we can do, Islam or Gaethje. Honestly, I'm confused, low key. I'm confused. I still think it's low key what I've been saying it is. I still think it's what I've been saying it is. But it is starting to creep up on me that, they really wanted the Jon Jones fight. I'm starting to come back to that now. Because what would be the explanation for this last minute shit? That's my big question now. What's up with this last minute shit? What is up with this last minute shit? Wednesday, they're calling Ilia saying, you want Islam or you want Gaethje? They say, we want Islam. They come back and they say, Islam, he's injured. Gaethje, he says, okay. They go, this much money. They go, no, not this much money. And then they stall it out for another 2 days. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. The UFC, bro, they're crazy. The UFC's just crazy, man. What can I say? What the fuck do you guys think? You guys are waiting for me to tell you what to think or what? Shit, I need help from the streets on this one. This feels like I'm like trying to play poker. It's like you gave me all these things. You got the pocket aces or you got the ace king. Like you got two spades in your hand. Like what the fuck you got, homie? Did you hit the straight on the river? Like no way you hit the full house on the river. Like, you know, you got all the context clues, but it's up to you to make up the final decision. This is what it feels like right now. Feels like poker. Super fishy coming to Ilia the week of to book that. It does scream that Jon Jones wasn't a serious negotiation. Jon Jones says he went and got his stem cells. Drew goes, this isn't a professional way of conducting business. It's not at all. It's not at all. That's what's rubbing me the wrong way is like the UFC being like nobody gets to negotiate for UFC White House. Like says fucking who? Says who gets to not negotiate for UFC White House? Says you? Fuck you. Treat us with some respect. And then you get Sean O'Malley going on Ariel being like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Just be a good little boy. Just be a good little boy in the little circus, and you'll get 2 title fights in a row. What up, AD kid? Crazy. Andrew says, Justin face flat on canvas. Bad luck for us Americans. O'Malley and Nickel might be the only wins for us all night. Yeah, but be careful with Bo Nickel, Andrew. I will warn you. Be careful. Be careful because Kyle Dawkins, he is seasoned. He is seasoned MMA vet. He a big dude. Okay, and you know, he's coming out the gutter. He got cut from the UFC, fought his way back. I mean, if he don't make it this time around, he down bad. He got to go get a regular job, Andrew. So just be careful with that oh, that's the other French guy. That's the other French guy. That's the third French guy. Okay, I got it now. Kyle Dawkins. Drew saying if this was any of the company, we would be bashing them. I mean, shit, I bash them on the daily. Ant says, put feelers out, got everyone thinking it was good, then picked and chose as they liked. Weird way to go about it. Okay, Ant, thank you. Ant's cooking. Ant's cooking. I'm glad that you guys also feel that this negotiation strategy was super weird. Super weird. We're going to reach out to everybody, get everybody's hopes up, so to speak, and then we're just going to choose who we want on here. It's like, I don't know what this is. It's like high school. I don't know. Seems like some elitist mentality shit that I can't even vibe with. You know, I like to treat people with respect. I like to treat people, you know, with integrity. I like to make them feel valued. I think those 3 things I just said are against the UFC's, you know, protocol and morals when it comes to how they treat their fighters. God forbid a fighter feels valued, respected, you know, cared for. God forbid. God forbid. Because what's that going to do? That's going to give them, you know, some power, so to speak. But it's like, I don't know. They operate on a weird system. They don't want to give any leverage to the fighters because they just assume the fighters, it'll go straight to their heads. And I get it, but you know, these guys are your product. You should be they deserve leverage. They deserve leverage, and if it means, you know, you have to generate less money for yourselves because it means you have to pay out more to them, then that just is what it is. These guys deserve leverage. That's the thing about the UFC is they do everything in their power to take away all the leverage. It's like they got this sheet or something of like how to completely, you know, kill and destroy all leverage from UFC fighters. You know, how to make sure they don't get 1% of leverage on us. I swear they got some type of memo like that pinned up on the wall. It's some type of code that they live by. No leverage. Nothing. Even if we like them, they got to be treated like like we don't like them. Always keep them in the dark. Always keep them on their toes. Always keep them with a little bit of spiked cortisol, right? A little bit of anxiety about their future. Always make them like that. Bro, fuck the UFC. I would hate fighting for these guys. I would hate fighting for these guys. Let's turn on a light. It is pretty dark in here. All right, we back to normal now. Shout out to all the people who were watching me in the dark. I was in my dark bag earlier though. I think I'm chilling now. We can have the lights on. Um, but yeah, I would hate to fight for the UFC. I would honestly hate. I would just hate it. Like, what? Man. And it's cool once you get up to the big boy checks. It's cool. Like once you're getting paid like an O'Malley or something like that, a former champ, whatever. It's cool, but man, you got to eat shit to get to that point. And still you got to eat shit when you make that money. Then you get iced. You know, you don't fight for a year. You think you make a lot more money. Now you're not fighting for a year. It's like you're making the same as when you were making less but fighting 3 times a year. I would hate to fight for the UFC. They got that Mr. Krabs playbook. They do. Um, let's hear what HT said. Well, Mark says UFC needs a new voice. Get rid of the bald gringo lying ass Dana White. Totally agree. Franklin says UFC had their whole card made already. They were just trolling LMAO. O'Malley's gonna say all the right things, LMAO. No, O'Malley's going PC now. Or PG. It seems like O'Malley's gonna be done with the edginess. O'Malley, he different these days. He different these days. HT says some MMA channel had the same take. Jon Jones shouldn't be fighting anyone else for the interim belt, but fight Aspinall, and they're happy Jon's not involved on the White House card. Yeah, I would have to agree with whoever said that. 80 says no one gives a fuck about the card anymore. Shit, Dana White wants all the bread for himself or the corporation. For him and Steve will do its gambling addiction. 80 says UFC fighters are too narrow-minded. They could unite and make more bread. 80, you missed it. I was cooking earlier. AD, about that. I was cooking about that. The UFC on the City Boy shit. 93 Octane says UFC is deliberately playing games with talent. Jump up on one leg and bark like a dog for this doggy treat. That's what they think about them. It is what they think about them. Sit. Sit, paw. 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 No. Lay down. Lay down. That's the UFC with these guys. Paw. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so true. It's so true. They had a whole group of dogs sitting, panting, waiting for their little UFC White House treat. The fucking UFC fighters, I mean, I love them, but they're also some of the most like, ugh, goes without saying. I'm sure it goes without saying. And it says Bo versus Colby would have been more interesting, surely. I guess Colby ducked it. Also, Bo is a middleweight. 80 says, I don't like Jones, fuck him, but I'm with him fighting the UFC for bread. I know it's such a nuanced topic because you're right. Nobody really likes Jon Jones, but it's like shit. I also don't like Dana not paying the fighters, and if it means setting a new record in terms of $30 million for one fight, and if Jon Jones got to be the one for that, then shit, I would be in support of that. Honestly, I don't really hate the whole Alex or the Jon Jones hypothetical fight with like Alex Pereira. I don't hate it as much as you guys, but I do get what you're saying. I think Ant is the one who brought that take in. I think HT was speaking about it. I know I said I low-key kind of agree, and I do. I agree with the sentiment, but I wouldn't have been mad at Jon versus Alex, to be honest. I see fucking Andrew just gifted 5 Membies. Shout out to Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for gifting the Membies. HT, you just got one. Shout out to HT getting the Memby. Perfecto got the Memby too. Let's go. And then Danish and Mr. Extendo and Lego got some Membies. But top chatters, HT and Perfecto, they got gifted a couple Membies. Pat Downey interview, full interview with Pat Downey dropping tomorrow. Full interview available on members only though. full interview with Pat Downey dropping tomorrow. Okay, for everybody. But it's up right now in members only. The full interview, raw, the full raw footage interview, the Zoom meeting. Shit, you guys get the raw, no edits. Okay, members only, you got the raw footage on that one. So go tap into that. Full interview is dropping tomorrow though. Yeah, definitely a nuanced topic, says Franklin. Facts though. Ant says, if my boss offered me a shift, then offered my coworkers a shift, then gave them the shift and not me, I'd be looking for a new job. That's what it is, though. That's what it is, though. It's like, you want to take the shift for 15 an hour? Okay, this person said they'll take it for 13 an hour. You know? Fuck yes, I'm hyped. Shout out to Andrew Nance. You guys can thank Andrew Nance for that one, perfecto. You got the Memby. And, you know, it also has some of the members only live streams where the cops got called and shit like that. So it's worth checking out. It's actually worth checking out. Because I made those members only just in case I have some, you know, issues with the living situation. I don't want that stuff to be public. So you guys can check that out. Also, I think there's a couple live episodes where I crashed out about the Nick Diaz topic. So worth looking at too. Okay, so, you know, we got Malky Kawa, right? Now, there's a couple more things. You know, I think there's Ariel Helwani making statements. Ariel is more so, he's saying some of the things that I already told you guys, and I kind of did get it from him. More so, I agreed with him. Um, oh, press conference tomorrow. That's the other thing. Francis Ngannou, Felipe Lins. Who gives a fuck? Nakisa goes, UFC should release Jon Jones. He's done. Bad hip. Let him go make a few dollars somewhere else with his bad hip. Only fair for a guy who has given his whole career to one organization, but now clear he is not fit enough to compete for them. Oh, Nakisa Badarian licking his lips. Another past their prime fighter, down and out, that he would love to sign to bottomless amounts of money. Except it ain't gonna generate shit under your cameras, homie. It ain't finna generate shit under your cameras. Here's the thing about Conor Ben's deal, by the way.
Back after that fight, once it's all said and done,
Here's the thing
are you
about Conor
open to,
Ben's
if it
deal
truly is a one,
that I mentioned to you guys.
if it truly is a one-fight deal, and he says, I want to come back after that fight, once it's all said and done, are you open to working with him again?
Same thing as what I said earlier. I mean, I don't feel the same way about Conor that I do to Keith Connolly, but again, a million miles away, because there'd have to be a conversation. Like, until you're actually, you know, it's not like, oh, there could be an opportunity with Eddie, I'll give him a call. It's like you have to actually accept that you've done wrong. Like, and I think one of the problems is I don't think he thinks he's done anything wrong. So I don't know. Like, you know, I was a very, very, very fond of Conor Ben. Like, to the point where, you know, there were some very, very serious conversations that we had, and very emotional conversations during the journey, where I had to make some very tough decisions about what I was going to do, you know? And I decided to back him, and despite everybody saying to me, mate, just leave it. Just let him deal with it.
It's not the clip I was really looking for. You'll just have to take my word for that about the whole, you know, one fight deal or a multiple fight deal for 15 million. Here's the clip though of Tom Aspinall siding with Jon Jones.
Wow. Well, my reaction to that, and this is going to probably be crazy to a lot of people listening, but why are we not? Why is the UFC not giving Jon the respect he deserves financially? That's crazy to me.
Do you feel like there's a growing sentiment?
For Jon,
No, that the fighters in the UFC aren't getting what they're owed.
well, if anyone should be getting paid a lot in this sport, it should be Jon Jones for the stuff that he's done. And that's me. That's me saying that.
Yeah.
After the history that I've had with Jon Jones, if anybody should be getting money in this sport, it's Jon Jones.
Are you surprised they're not giving it to him?
Well, they offered him 30 million to fight me, so why have they not offered it again? I don't understand.
I
Ariel, you're the man. You're the man in the know.
I think it's yesterday's deal isn't today's deal, or that type of thing.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I think also the thinking is, hey, we're losing money off of this White House card, the 60 million. I mean, I agree with you. I think Jon Jones, if Conor Benn is a $15 million fighter, more power to him. I think it's great that he got that. Jon Jones is actually more than a $30 million fighter. And Conor McGregor's probably a $75 million fighter, if you get what I'm saying.
Completely agreed.
And you're probably a $25 million fighter.
I would hope so, but those guys who we're talking about, Conor McGregor and Jon Jones and guys like that, like they bring in the other guy. Those are the guys who brought in the revenue for over 10 years.
Yeah.
They need to be getting paid what they deserve, in my opinion.
There you have it. There you have it. Andrew Nance, thank you for the $20 dono, homie. Much appreciated. Andrew says, great show, homie. Keep up the good work. Thank you, homie. I'm going to keep doing it for you, boys. I got you, boys, for the next 90 days. And, you know, we're always going live. But 90 days straight, no days off. Okay, 90 days straight, no days off. So we locked in. But even after the 90 days, we always streaming. We always going to be streaming. We might take the occasional day off once a week. But shit, we working. We working like Andrew says. We working. We grinding. Shout out to Andrew. Thank you again, homie. Thank you again. Scott says, what's good, bro? Tapping in. What do you think is next for both Charles and Max? It's a great question. It's a good question about Max. I think Charles, you know, an Arman Sarukian fight sounds very, very enticing. You know, Arman is, you know, Arman, he ain't always been a BMF in my. Arman, see, I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at that mute. I accidentally just hit the mute button, but I knew it. I felt it. Arman Sarukian, I've been on record saying that he not the most BMF fighter, but in comparison or in contrast to the performance Charles Oliveira put on last weekend, which isn't the worst in the world, but on context of BMF, it is kind of bad. Throw Arman in there. Because Arman, he got the grappling to make it competitive with Charles, and it was exciting the first time. I think somebody said that in the chat last night, and I agree with it. Maybe Tyler Betts said that, but I fully agree. You know, Arman versus Charles would be good. Max, first name that comes to mind, sounds crazy. Sounds super random. And maybe I'm wrong. Gamrot? How about Paddy Pimblett? How about Paddy Pimblett? 155, Max Holloway versus Paddy Pimblett. What we think of that? Gamrot's number 7. You got Dan Hooker 2. I think Max Holloway beats all 3. Dan Hooker, Gamrot, Paddy Pimblett, he beats all 3. That's what I would say. Drew goes, wait till it's Aspinall's time to negotiate. He not getting 25 million, Drew. But maybe he will. Maybe he will with the help of Eddie Hearn. I don't know. Maybe he will. I'm trying to read Ariel's tweets. See if there's anything else interesting. So sorry for the silence. Wait, somebody said something though about the money. There was something that was said recently about the money. Oh, Ariel said it. Ariel said it. I did catch on to this and it almost slipped my mind. Ariel said that the reason why he thinks the UFC White House, because I told you guys, why does it seem like the matchmakers don't want to negotiate with anyone? Like, why are they being so hard about the negotiations? Ariel's saying that, they didn't want to negotiate because UFC White House is going to be a net loss. It's not really an event for profit. But who gives a fuck? What does that have to do with the UFC fighters? You're the one doing this for Trump. You're the one hosting the event for not profit. So go ahead and open up your pocketbook and pay these damn fighters. I don't give a fuck. Now the burden's on the fighters because you guys made a promise to Donald Trump that you'll glaze him up on his birthday. Now the fighters got to take a hit from that. Even though you're lying to the masses, saying this is going to be the biggest event ever. This is going to be the biggest event ever. Meanwhile, on the back end, you're literally telling your matchmakers, we're taking an L on this financially. We're taking a massive L on this event financially. There is no profit coming out of this event. What the fuck is wrong with them? What the actual fuck is wrong with them? Because they're not doing ticket sales. There's no gate necessarily. What the fuck is wrong with them? The fighters got to pay for that. That's got to come out of the fighter's pocket. Not 60 mil because our business, here's the situation with our business over here. This is why you can't get 30 mil because, we actually agreed with Donald Trump not to make a profit on this card. So because we made a promise to Trump that has nothing to do with you, yeah, man, we don't want to give you a lot of money, but don't tell anyone that because we're promoting this card like it's the biggest one of the year. And again, you're our good little boy. You sit when we say sit. You give us your paw when we say paw. You roll over when we say roll over. It's crazy work, Andrew. It's absolutely crazy work, homie. It don't make no sense to me. And these fighters like Sean O'Malley, you got to listen to it. Now you got to listen to what O'Malley says. It's guys like this. It's good little boys like this. And honestly, this is a perfect freeze frame. Look at the content in his face. He's just so happy. Under Daddy Dana's control, he's so happy. He don't think there's a thing wrong with it. He don't think there's a thing wrong with it. I'm just reading off his fucking little freeze frame. Oh, man. The thing is that this is the thing. This freeze frame, and maybe I'm judging. Sorry if I am judging. But this freeze frame, it signifies to me like Sean O'Malley thinks he's inside the house. Meaning like, how there's outhouse dogs and then in-house dogs? It's like a viral meme. Right? There's like one dog who gets to stay in the house and the other dog stays outside the house. And the dog in the house, they act different. They got all the privilege. They're little bitches. That's what O'Malley's giving me right now. Like a little privileged bitch happy to be inside the house. Blaming the outside dog. Blaming the outside dogs. Oh, he pees when he comes in the house. I don't pee. I'm clean. This fucking bullshit. Fuck you. I'm not meaning to go off on O'Malley like that, but it's like he does give like I'm the good boy inside the house. Like I'm the good little boy inside the house. I'm the trophy. You think you are until they chew you up and spit you out just like everyone else, homie. Then it's good riddance to you. Then you're going to be complaining, right? Then you're going to be complaining, asking for everybody to get behind you. But remember what you did when you were inside that fucking house, homie. And all the other boys that are your peers were sitting on the outside waiting for meals. And you're sitting there at the bottom of Dana White's chair, right, begging for scraps, thinking you a good little privileged boy. Yeah. Yeah. Juice says, thought you were going somewhere else with that in-house thing. Oh, I know what you... Jew, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that's what DC says about Jon Jones. DC kind of says Jon Jones like that house, you know what? Not me. I'm not the one saying it. Okay? But shit, yeah, that wasn't on my mind, but it could be relatable to anyone who gets to stay in the house. You feel me? Anyone who gets to stay in the house, if you happy about it, when your equals, when your peers are not inside that house, you a bitch, you a piece of shit. Fuck you. Kevin says there's something wrong with that guy. Just look at him. That's why I took this moment in time. That's honestly why I took this moment to really kind of like go after Sean in this freeze frame. I know I'm making a lot. I'm making a lot off of like a freeze frame. I'm fully aware of that. And I'm not even saying I'm 100% right, but I'm just judging the fuck out of his character right now. Right or wrong, I'm judging the fuck out of it. Okay, right or wrong, I'm judging the fuck out of it. And let time prove me right. I think I'm going to be right about this one. Watch Sean O'Malley start complaining once he out of the doghouse, once he out of the the people's house. The doghouse is what Armand's in. Sean O'Malley, he's in the mansion. He's in the house with the fucking humans. He's sleeping in the bed. You feel me? Meanwhile, we got guys in the UFC sleeping on the floor outside. Now let's hear what this little houseboy got to say. All right, let's hear it. 93 goes, no, if anyone is the house, it's DC, no question. While I was saying that, 93, while I was saying that, that was in the back of my mind. That was in the back of my mind. DC's the biggest shill for the UFC on earth. Sugar is on the White House card because he's a Nelk boy. Scott says, Sean thinks the UFC has his back. He will learn the hard way once he's on that losing streak. Facts, though. Facts, though. Franklin says, yeah, he definitely ended up taking the safe route. Promotes gambling, too, for that check like them all. Yep, exactly. Kevin says it's for his own good. All right, I'm glad that Kevin co-signs my me blasting Sean O'Malley right now. Ant says they hyping this event like Sphere. This whole thing feels like it's about the experience of being there as opposed to the actual fights. 6 fights isn't even a card. I mean, it's going to be over in like 2 hours. Straight 2 hours is going to be over with. All right, before I play this clip, I think it's a good time to say this. Everybody like the video if you haven't liked it already. We want 25 likes, and I don't know how many likes it has. I could look. We have 19. We have 19 likes. We have 50 people watching. We could easily run it up to 25 right now. But if you also are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Like Kevin Bacon. I have not seen Kevin Bacon in the chat, but homie should subscribe. Ant, I don't know if you're subscribed, but you should, homie. Okay. Anyone new, subscribe. Oh, we're getting pounding upstairs now. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Ladies crashing out again. Let me chill out. Let me chill out. I'm not trying to start a beef, you feel me? So let me chill out. Let me chill out a little bit. But oh my God, you guys heard that? That lady crashing out upstairs. Crashing out. All right, let's hope she doesn't call the cops on me this time. Not human. That's insane. Jacob DC touts the UFC company line. Motherfucker be shilling for the UFC. I've seen Nate calling his ass out. He does. Okay, let's hear Sean O'Malley.
The whole fighter.
Holy shit. You guys heard that, right? You guys heard that for sure? That's insane. LOL, I can hear it. That's insane, bro. That's insane. Imagine me, bro. Imagine me. Shit was shaking in here. All right, let's play this, though. Maybe we're going to have to wrap up the stream a little bit early tonight. And, I don't like her to control me like that, but shit, we did 2 late night streams in a row, so I think we should just try to be chill. Let's try to be chill. She hasn't been calling the cops. I'm trying to be chill. I'm trying to chill. All right, I'm trying to chill. That was so loud. LOL, she tweaking, bro. She tweaking. She out her fucking mind. And it's like, I ain't even yelling. Can someone do a voice check for me real quick? Was I yelling? Let's be honest. Was I yelling? That was loud. Makes no all because you're talking psycho. Psycho, bro. She pounding on the floor. Empty room, I'd say. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's get back locked in. Let's get back locked in. LO, let's chill, bro. Pick and choose your battles. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to chill. I got no ego. I got no ego with this right now. I'm chilling. And I ain't trying to, piss her off anymore. So, I'm checking my voice. Let's chill. Let's chill, boys. We locked in. Okay, we locked in. Let's watch this video.
The whole fighter pay thing, it's like everyone wants to make more money when they do whatever they're doing. I have a good relationship with the UFC, and I'm happy. I'm honored that they, asked me to be on the White House card. It's going to be huge for me. It's going to go out there. Yeah, I'm going to make some money, whatever. But I'm going to go out there and build the Sugar brand. I want to go out there, put on a beautiful performance, knock people out, have people remember me. And, hopefully that flows into making more money outside the UFC and do different kinds of brands deals or doing well, continues to grow. And, you don't want to make enemies with the UFC. I don't understand how I don't get what people are doing. And I saw that Tom Aspinall signed with the Hearn dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't really know if that's a great idea either. You're gonna have someone manage you that the data doesn't really like or something. That doesn't seem very smart. But I'm fucking, I'm not that smart. But I just, that's how I see it.
I get it. It's a fascinating time. I saw your initial reaction to the Conor Benn news. Does that change?
Homie's drinking matcha. It's like the most fucking white girl thing I ever seen in my life.
The way you look at your worth? Like if you're saying, if this guy's 15, I'm this.
A little, it goes through your mind. It's like, damn, that's good for him. It's nothing against him. Great for him. Business, Zuffa, UFC, their business, doing what they need to do. And what are my options? Fight or not fight? I'm going to pick the fight, and I'm going to pick to continue to have a good relationship with UFC, and just keep doing what I can do. That's go out there and win fights.
Some have said in the Paramount era, their situation financially has changed. Some have said no. How about you?
I'm still on the same contract as I was before. When I sit down with Hunter, I typically ask for more than what my contract is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, I don't know. I haven't talked to Hunter about money and going into this fight. There was no conversation about how much I'm going to make going into this fight. I'm sure I'll talk to him. We got 14 weeks. He's got some fights in between, so I'm sure I'll talk to him at some point, but I'm going out there to put on a show, and I got to get a finish, and that's what's on my mind.
Okay, so we roasted Sean heavily. He might not have deserved all that roasting, but it was still good that we roasted him a little bit. Oh, also the Corey Sandhagen ducking allegations. We don't really care, right? He goes, they've never offered me Corey. I've never turned Corey down, and that's it. I mean, we don't even insinuate that you did turn Corey down. We just are mad at the UFC for not booking that. Cupcake goes, bro, she def woke up y'all other neighbors. I know. She crazy, bro. She crazy. That's okay. That's okay. Let's not cause any more problems. I'll keep it down. I'll be the bigger person tonight. She need to get some plants and carpets. Yeah, she definitely does. She also should get those earplugs I've been, recommending her for months now. I want to see Sugar versus Jan 2. That would be a good fight, Scott. Would be a good fight. O'Malley suddenly recalling all the favorable matchmaking. Facts. All right. To be honest, my vibe's been a little bit killed because of that shit. My vibe's been a little bit killed because of that. But, I mean, let's talk about one more thing, though. Let's talk about one more thing, and maybe we could talk about more things if it comes up. But I think this is actually the other big story of the day. We kind of talked about two of them, and they tied in with one another. You know, the two big stories of the day was um, sorry, the two that we already discussed that kind of tied together is Aspinall sticking up for Jon, and then Jon giving his statement about how the negotiations fell through. So those were two topics in one. Third topic, Francis Ngannou. Patty wants to fight. Oh no, never mind. Patty wants to fight Oliveira though. Okay, so we need to just take a look at this real quick. Big Daddy Jacob. That's right, Cupcake. My man, Cupcake. Yes, be the bigger guy. I'm trying to be the bigger guy. I'm trying to be Big Daddy Cast. All right. Okay. So, long story short, we got Francis Ngannou versus Felipe Lins booked. Dog shit. Dog shit ass fight. Did you already talk about the Eddie Hearn interview on Ariel today? I did. I did. Oh, there's actually one other thing I want to discuss, and I'll just tell you guys, but it's that Dana White is having his interviews screened. Dana's having his interview questions for boxing screened. That's what Eddie Hearn also exposed him for today. I'm going to say that one more time. Dana White is having his interviews screened. The questions are screened. He's asking people to delete footage out of the interviews that he doesn't want in there. Per Eddie Hearn, not per me. This is allegedly according to Eddie Hearn. But, that's a damning accusation on Dana. That's a damning accusation. Mr. Freedom of Speech is screening questions when it comes to Zuffa boxing. Eddie Hearn pretty much cooked the shit out of Dana when it came to the whole boxing venture. Pretty much cooked the shit out of him. But for me, my thing, the beefing between the promoters, it's cool. But like I told you guys, right? Like I'm more into like these other lasting topics, like these real, topics of substance that have a little bit of controversy to it. Like the promoters beefing, like, come on, I don't even know how genuine that is. Are they just trying to grow each other's name? They just talking shit just to do it? Like, I don't know. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm more into like that's why like I know about it, Scott, and it's not even like any shade on the question. But like I know about it, but I didn't really talk about it that much because, it's just the two promoters beefing. I'm into the fighters and all that stuff. But I did watch the interview. I'm not finished with it. I got a little bit of time left on it. We got the same birthdays and I'm the better fighter. Can we say I want? Yep, not trying to be big meanie head to Sean, just a million times better. Franklin, what the hell are you saying, homie? Scorpio, usually not best of friends. Least Zabibi O'Malley has that effect going. Oh my goodness. Francis is the only man to save the heavyweight division at this point. Yeah, so that was the side note. Francis Ngannou, he booked against Felipe Lins, and he's actually going to be fighting below Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. I don't know what's worse. That this is a fight that would have never got put together in the UFC or anything else, bro. Just so sick of these UFC fighter rejects. Why don't you sign a real prospect who's good that the UFC hasn't signed yet? Why don't you do that? Why don't you show you actually know something about the sport? Sign somebody good that the UFC hasn't signed yet, right? Who got a following. What's so hard about that? These guys are clowns. They don't know shit about the sport, that's why. They don't know shit about the fan base. They don't know shit about anything. Nothing. Felipe Lins for Francis Ngannou. First fight outside the PFL. Francis could have got a better fight inside the PFL. Francis keeps getting these big paychecks. I mean, yeah, bro. Yeah. He does, Scott. He does. But whenever people bring the money into it, it gets tough because I do see that side. And it is prize fighting. It's about the money first and foremost. Fuck the legacy. Fuck the legacy. It's about the money. Fuck the legacy. But I'm just saying, bro, like this ain't, I mean, yeah, okay, You got the money, but don't be mad. Like, just because you got money, it don't mean you got legacy. You know, so I mean, two things are true, right? Yeah, Francis got a lot of money, but he got no legacy. He got no legacy. What's his legacy? I'm speechless because I just hate this shit. But let's listen to. I got more to say about this. Ngannou announcing his fight off a teleprompter is crazy work. Ngannou announcing his fight off a teleprompter is crazy work, bro. Crazy work. Look at him reading off. It's like so manufactured. It's like, oh, act like you're gonna set up a fight with me. It's like they just send these guys who are fighting on MVP this little promo package to wheel out once their fight gets announced because they think they're so smart at promotion. They think they know it all, and they don't, bro. We can see through it. And honestly, that's why I think, boys, that's why I think the live streaming culture is taking off right now. Because you just can't fake it like that on here. You just can't. And that's why I think a lot of this stuff is going out. That's why I probably hate the shit out of this, because I'm on the live streams. Like, it's too real for me on here. You know? And then I see you guys doing shit like this. Like Ronda Rousey and Jake Paul, trying to instigate, trying to manufacture a beef with the UFC, a competition for UFC White House. You feeling? UFC White House is dog shit. Nobody respects it. No one likes it. It's still better than this fight. But you got Ronda Rousey trying to manufacture a beef with UFC White House to build up their card. We see through it. We see through it. It's so manufactured. And if it ain't on a live stream, if we can't see the full context of things, if we can't see how you lead up to forming an opinion about something, then I just think it's all phasing out. It's all phasing out. If you were going to go with opinions and things people say, it needs to be done on live streams. Because otherwise, there's a chance it's scripted at this point in time, because people have just learned how to game social media to the highest degree. And that's what Jake Paul kind of like exploits. He thinks he's gamed social media. He knows how it works. Fuck anything else. He can just game social media. And that's why I try to tell you guys. I always say this, and maybe a lot of you guys have been wondering for a long time what I mean, right? That's why, back in the day, it used to be numbers don't lie. Right? Men lie, women lie, children lie, but numbers don't lie. I used to love that saying. But numbers lie these days because of shit like this. Because of shit like this, they're going to manufacture a post that's going to get a lot of likes and engagement, right? But there's no truth behind it. There's no substance behind it. People don't buy it, but yes, they're going to like it. Yes, they're going to get reposts. Why? Because they've gamed social media. Jake Paul and MVP Promotions, aka DEI Promotions, they've gamed social media. They know how to generate a lot of likes, even though there's no fan base behind it. What's the fan base behind it? There's no fans that are dying to see Francis Ngannou versus Felipe Lins. But what do? They tie in the fact that, oh, Francis is setting up a fight with Jake Paul through this Felipe Lins fight. That's the selling point. That's how we're going to get a lot of likes and engagement. And that's how that's going to sell this fight. And that's how it's going to, put the illusion to everybody that this fight is big and people want it. Nah, bro, numbers lie these days. Numbers do lie these days. And finally, now you guys know how numbers lie these days. Now you know. Now you know how numbers lie these days. Now let's listen to this. I told you, Francis is trying to set up a fight with Jake Paul now. The most disingenuous shit in the world. You already had this chance, bro. You ducked it. You ducked it in boxing. For truckloads of millions of dollars, you ducked it.
Hey guys, rumors are true. I'm joining the Rusev Escarano MMA fight.
Reading off a teleprompter is crazy. Reading his fucking fight announcement off a teleprompter is crazy. I'm rewinding it to the beginning.
Hey guys, rumors are true. I'm joining the Rusev Escarano MMA fight on Netflix. I'll be entering the cage to fight Felipe Lins from Brazil. MVP is the promoter, so who knows? Maybe this means I'm one step closer of knocking out Jake Paul too. But first thing first, catch me on Saturday, May 16 on Rusev Escarano, live only on Netflix. Hey guys.
Oh my god, I'm disgusted. I'm just disgusted. Like, what the fuck? The fuck am I watching, bro? Straight reading his fight announcement off a teleprompter. You know, you see how every video these guys make, it's got an angle to it. You're going to keep seeing it. It's going to be a trend. There's going to be an angle to it. I can't wait for the press conference that's scripted as well, where they plant in fake journalists to ask questions, to hype up things that they're selling. Just watch. Just watch. Can't wait for the MVP question. How does it feel to, as MVP promotions, to be the first women's blah, 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 blah. Couldn't even fathom the question if I wanted to, bro. Because I ain't no bird brain. You feel me? But I can already see the glazing. Get ready for the questions about how much do you think that this event's going to overshadow UFC White House, blah, 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 blah. It's just constantly. I'm telling you guys now, I'm predicting it now. Get ready. Jake Paul's MVP press conference for this Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano fight will be scripted. He scripts every press conference. There will be a bet proposal in here. Somewhere along the line, there will be a bet. Why? Because they've gamed the system. They know that the bet is something that all of us pages we clip off. So they make bets all the time now. It's just so predictable. It's so predictable. It's the same song and dance every time. And you know what? That's pretty much a stream, boys. That's pretty much a stream. I don't got much else to say right now. Also, I keep thinking about that shit up in the back of my head. The upstairs neighbor. Not that I'm opposed to doing a lot of late night streams and that she'll get to me if she gets like mad, but I did it 2 nights in a row. I did it last night. I did it tonight. So I don't know. I'm probably being too nice to her anyway. I'm probably showing her too much respect anyway. But shit, let it be. Let it be for this one time. All right. Let it be for this one time. It is what it is. I don't gotta get the dub every time. You know, ain't some egotistical motherfucker. So whatever. Let me take the L. You know, whatever it is. I'll take the L tonight. I'll be on here tomorrow. We got 90 days ahead of us. Okay, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So shit, I don't want to piss her off too much on day 12 of the 90 days straight of live streaming. So whatever. We'll take the L tonight. We'll take the L tonight. It's still a dub. It's still a dub. Let me read some chats though. HT says, oh, well, 80 says, Suga and all the top 10 to 20 fighters could bring the UFC to a halt if they decided to unite for a union with demands. Yeah. No, that's totally true, though. Franklin goes, same size, same birthday, way older, still whoop him bad. Talking about O'Malley. Got to 24-hour fast, at least 36 hours, way better too. Shit. Don't let Franklin catch O'Malley off that 36-hour water fast now. Do not let him catch O'Malley off that 36-hour water fast. I mean, O'Malley might as well just dig his own grave. O'Malley might as well just dig his own grave. The second he lays eyes on Franklin, he dig in his grave. Octane says Francis' legacy is fracturing the heavyweight division. Jones or Aspinall will never be real champ until they see Ngannou. I feel you. Ngannou shouldn't have left. You know, that Ngannou topic, I'm going to let you have it, 93 Octane. I'm going to let you have it. HT says Jake Paul is waiting for Jon Jones' release to sign him to MVP, something Dana will never do because he knows Jones can make big money fights elsewhere like Netflix. I guess. I'll say it like this. I don't deny that Jon Jones could make money on Netflix, big money on Netflix, but I am kind of mad at it. Why would I be mad at it? Because I'd rather Jon make the money against real competition in the UFC. You know, it's like there's something for me with this, like, oh, they make a lot of money, but it's against shit competition. It's like, okay, good for him for making a lot of money. But does it like what, like, I'm the fan watching. So how much money you make, like, I'm also the fan watching. So it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to like the fight more because you got more money? You feel me? That's the thing that I don't like. It's like, congrats, Francis, you made your bags, but I didn't even watch you fight. Didn't even want you fight. You proved nothing since you left, but I guess good on you. You got your bag, but like, what have I been able to see? That's my thing with it. So like, yeah, Jon can get his bag on Netflix, but like, I'd be mad at it, bro. I'd be mad at it. I want him to make his money in the UFC. I'd be mad at Dana for that. Like, Dana, pay your fucking guys, bro. They're leaving. They're getting these big ass bags to fight nobodies that nobody wants to watch. And they're still going to generate numbers, I guess. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I could see, but it's only going to generate numbers because it's like Jon Jones left the UFC. He coming on Netflix. It's not about like who he's fighting. It's about the storyline, and it's fine. But it all ties together. It's a fucking melody. It's a recipe. You know, you have to put all these things together, and then you still have to make something good, something taste good. You feel me? It needs to be all these things. Should have used AI Francis, so fake. GSP once tried to form a fighters association with Kane, Cowboy Tim Kennedy, and the former Bellator president. It went absolutely nowhere. Dillashaw was part of it too. Yeah, they always go nowhere, Eric. That's the problem with it. The problem is they always go nowhere. The fighters are too individual. They're too independent. They're too individual. They will never band together. So, you know, it's like we're wasting our time talking about fighter pay for them too because they're the ones who got to do it. They're the ones who got to go get it. Franklin says ignoring is by default a dub. Shout out to Franklin. We ignoring tonight. We above it. It's all good. Scott says it's better to avoid more issues, broski. I'm with you, Scott. I agree. And you know, I appreciate that as well. You know, you guys, I know it'd be more fun for your entertainment for me to be crashing out. But you know, that's you boys being real ones, you looking out for my best interest. So I do appreciate that for sure. I'm telling you, boys, I see it. You know, I'm the realist. I real recognize real. That's all I could say. Real recognize real. Cupcake says, yeah, it's all good, Jacob. We'll catch you later. Perfect. Let her have her fun, LMAO. Exactly, spoken like a good man. Yes, sir, Big Daddy Jacob. All right, boys, let's go. Shout out to all you boys. Like I said, I appreciate you looking out for my best interest. So shout out to all you guys. The stream's pretty much over. I'm a dip out. We're gonna get back on our early night schedule. I know I said we were gonna do that today. Tomorrow, let's get back on the early night schedule. I'll see you guys a bit earlier tomorrow, 7 or 8 p.m. I'll be locking in on stream. Let me shout out the streets real quick. Shout out to Franklin. Shout out Cupcake. Shout out Andrew. Shout out Scott. Shout out to Andrew, even though I think I already said it. And for all the donos and for the gifting of the membies, my man Andrew. Shout out to you, homie. Shout out to oh my God, I'm just repeating now. Shout out to HT. Shout out to AD Kid, 93 Octane. All right. Shout out to Jew was in here. Cupcake. AJD. All the new people watching. Ant, you know, Kevin Bacon. Who else we got in here? Perfecto. Shout out to homie Perfecto. Shout out to Mark, USRDX. Subscribe, homie. Shout out to Eric, if I didn't already shout out Eric. Shout out to Jim Lotus. Damn, Jim never came back. Motherfucking Jim never came back. We better see you tomorrow, Jim. M354, shout out to you, homie. Kevin Durant, shout out. JP Money, shout out. Shout out to him as well. Memby him. Nico Bellic, shout out, homie. Good to see you in the chat. Saxby, shout out. Good to see you in the chat, Saxby. Dundaughter, shout out the streets. Dundaughter, Lift Inspire. Some of the hardcore streets right here. You're retarded, shout out, homie. Shout out to Space Kid. Shout out to MGal. Yeah, shout out to all you boys. All right, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow a bit earlier. Like the stream on your way out, boys. Like the stream on your way out. We had 24 likes. We need that 25th like, boys. Like the stream on your way out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.